Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. You know, it doesn't take very long at all for the typical psychopaths out there on the internet to go out there and push all of their crazy nonsense. And of course, as soon as anybody decides to question their ideology or step one single toe out of line, of course, it's the normal typical labels that we always get. We're called ists and phobes and yada, yada, yada compared to World War II bad guys and all the other kind of stuff typical. And really, at the end of the day, it's just really sad because these people are just calling out the truth about things, right? They're just telling out the common sense. And Dragon Quest creators Yuji Horii immediately absolutely did that. He said, look, there's this ideology that comes from the West that is evil and is nasty, and and everything you do, it has to be dictated by that. Otherwise, your games don't sell. And he's absolutely right. We've seen this happen time and time again. And the fact that a lot of these people are crowing out of the woodwork, being absolutely crazy and absolutely insane is exactly why we're making a video today, because boys and girls, these people need to be laughed, mocked, and ridiculed absolutely out of polite society in every way, shape, or form. No one should have ever listened to these psychopathic nut jobs, these cultists out there to begin with, and now they are finding out that the majority of the world does not agree with them, and that is driving them absolutely insane. It is breaking their brains, and that is a beautiful thing to document, boys and girls, because these words they use have literally no meaning anymore, because they will call anybody at any time that disagrees with them, no matter how they look or what their history is in every way, shape, or form, all of this kind of stuff, because they think it has some kind of power. Well, guess what, Goblin King? You have no power here anymore, and that's exactly what we're going to document. So, boys and girls, from our dear sweet friends over at thatparkplace.com, Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii maligned as Nazi and Chud for questioning gender ideology being required for Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. And this is one of those things that we talked about. We called this out in a video before, that they were bowing to the cultists doing this. Well, now he explained why they did it, and of course, everybody's having a meltdown over it. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all of the juicy details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, because boys and girls, we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below letting know what you think about this. Do you agree with Yuji, or do you agree with all of the little psychopathic cultists out there? Please, all comments are welcome in the section down below. Let us know what you think, because at the end of the day, it all helps the algorithm. All right, from thatparkplace.com and our dear sweet John F. Trent. I mean, look at this sweet old man. Like, really? Look at this sweet old man. He's just like your common sense grandpa going like, yeah, this stuff is dumb and it's evil and it's ridiculous, but it's the only way we can get our games made, and it sucks. Like, I mean, come on, man. Yuji Horii, the creator of, and I know I'm probably butchering that name, and I apologize to all of our Japanese friends out there. The creator of Dragon Quest is being maligned as a Nazi and a chud for questioning gender ideology being forced upon Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Oh, color us shocked there. It's almost like it's another day ending in Y. During an interview at Tokyo Game Show alongside former Weekly Shonen Jump editor-in-chief Kazuki Torisama, Horii was asked about the changes made to the character designs in Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, and specifically why more clothing was added to Jenna Sharp, the female hero in the game. Now, obviously, you can go find this interview. You can watch the whole thing for yourself. We're just kind of going to jump through a few of the highlights, because we really want to make fun of all of the little psychopathic cultists out there possessed by the spirit of the age and try to shame them. We're trying to make shame great again, boys and girls. But so essentially what he comes down to is we got translated by, so there's various regulations in place. They're talking about the extra skin. They're blaming it on the ESRB ratings in the United States, basically saying that if they don't cover the girls up a little bit more, the game isn't going to be like, get like the E for everyone rating, right? So that's kind of his argument for that. So that I kind of get that as well. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how a lot of that kind of stuff goes. But this is, I think, the parts that really got them under kind of crazy. Under the name of compliance, it's like an absolute god. An evil disguised as good. There's no such thing as content that doesn't make everyone uncomfortable, because beauty and ugliness, good and evil, are different for everyone. There are a few things that must absolutely be done, and as long as you follow those, you're free to do the rest. And of course, he goes in to talk about all of the ESRB stuff and the things like that. So Horii then addressed the removal of the choice to choose between male and female. This is where it really gets them going. In Dragon Quest, you used to be able to choose between a male and a female main character, but now you can't choose between a man and a woman anymore. We have to label them as Type 1 and Type 2. I really wonder who's even complaining about this. Oh, well, we know. It's all of the little screaming psychopathic cultists out there on the internet who are possessed completely and totally by the spirit of the age, and apparently don't go out and touch grass enough, or obviously interact with anybody in the real world outside of San Francisco and New York. Although at this point, I think it's probably just San Francisco, because New York's got a new influx of individuals taking over there. So the question of the insertion of gender ideology into the characters select for the game has brought the ire of activists who are labeling Horii a Nazi. Ex-user Frost Yomoto wrote, Yuji Horii going Nazi was not on my bingo sheet. Oh, you poor thing. But of course, he got some pushback for that as well. But while he explained his reason for doing this, Yukio, what in the blazes blue eyes are you on about? How does that make him Hitler? Pretty much welcoming cultural war tourists who tend to be Nazis. Oh, yes, the cultural tourists. What do you want to bet? I'll put any of my Dragon Age players out there in my chat and in my subscribers' time playing this game against any one of you little woke psychopaths out there. I guarantee you the people complaining about this have way more time and money dedicated into this franchise than you even make ever in your life, in some cases, boys and girls. Either way, we know these people don't actually spend any money and pay for anything, because if they did, the Acolyte wouldn't have got canceled, now would it? By the way, how many people are currently playing the latest DEI from Rockstar out there? The Suicide Squad kills the Justice League? Oh, that's right. I think it's concurrent players like 300 right now. Yeah, let's listen to the psychopaths out there. By complaining that the game they made had to be censored, you can't chastise someone because grifters will latch onto anything. Hi. Look at how much shit I call out on a daily basis that some grifter might too. It was censored because of Zero, and that's been consistent for over a decade. The Type A and Type B stuff is not censorship. Oh, really? Oh, really? Why are you doing it then? Why isn't it male and female, like it's always traditionally been? In stream, the user would later admit, this is great. No, they were specifically talking about the designs they just had to censor. Did you watch the video itself? You can turn on subtitles. It's the same design they've been using since 2012, only with yellow clothing instead of black. No, I haven't watched the video. I haven't had the time. Oh, okay. Color us shocked there. Your investment in Dragon Age and Dragon Quest, and your investment in Dragon Quest is so hardcore that you decided to go off a comment of what someone else said about a video, all out to go out there and call somebody a Yahtzee. Like, really? Really? This just shows you the level of their investment in any of this stuff. They want to call us tourists? Show me how much time you put into Dragon Quest, Yukio. I bet I got a few that's going to beat you by a long shot. Oh, wow. So it goes on, because one user on Gaming Circle Jerk, Jesus, subreddit, color us shocked there. This is why I'm not on Reddit. Described both Horii and Toriyama as douchebags. To be fair, I don't think creatives should have to do something they don't want to be outside forces telling them to do. And just slapping type A and B labels on what was obviously designed as male and female choice is one of the most annoyingly performative things I've seen in games lately. That's because it's always been virtue signaling. They never gave a crap about your issues. They just thought you were a new market that they could tap into. And when they found out your market didn't account for squat, they started removing all of the pride flags from their labels. After they saw what happened to Bud Light, you notice how Disney doesn't do as much of this stuff now. And there's internal reports that they even admitted that gay is why Lightyear flopped, and they ain't doing gay no more. It was always just a virtue signal, because if it was, they wouldn't have shrunk black characters on posters to comply with China's market. You were nothing more than a new market they could tap into, and then they found out that you're all broke and you just complain on the internet. Huh. Weird how that works out. It's almost like we always represented the majority, and you always represented a vocal minority who could not cover the bills. By the way, how's the Acolyte Season 2 doing? Ha! Oops! Never mind. That said, these do still sound like douchebags, and I won't be buying their games because of that. But I think they should have the right to make it the way they want. This I completely agree on. That's the beauty of a free market system. Let the creatives make and do whatever they want and let the culture decide what they want to buy. That's why we found out go woke, go broke is an accurate fact of life. It's also ridiculous that gamers are acting like the opinions of two old men is a representation of every creator in Japan and somehow proves the West is forcing their beliefs on Japan. All you have to do is look at how the rest of some of these Japanese companies have complied, and I think it's pretty obvious. You can't even say that these two are representative of their whole team. Oh, yes. Disrespect the elders. Don't listen to the people with experience because you're the new generation. You're smarter and better and faster than everyone that's come before you. You can be like the Most High. Yeah, I think we know how that story ended, too. Another user in the subreddit wrote, no surprise, people associated with Toriyama would be this chuddy. Oh yes, the chud's so evil. Every time I see something new from the dinosaurs in charge of DQ, I get happy that I don't like DQ. Easily the worst of the remaining JRPG franchises to me. Well, good. You don't like it. Don't buy it. To be clear, changing the option from male and female to type A and type B is clearly part of the transgender ideology that is attempting to remove the distinctions between males and females and leads people down the path of self-mutilation, absolute destruction of your body. And of course, because it's our dear sweet John F. Trent, he goes into all of the religious and Catholic aspects of things. And of course, if you want to go through and read his entire article and hear what the archbishops and all these dioceses talk about all this kind of stuff, if you're looking for the religious angle, by all means, go check out John Trent and on John Trent on the report, his John Trent report and all of that kind of stuff. But boys and girls, at the end of the day, this is exactly what happens every single time. You take one toe out of line, you step one toe out of the cult box out there, and they go after you. They call you ist, and they call you phobes, and they compare you to the bad guys from World War II, and it's the same old nonsense over and over again. That's why it falls on flat ears. Nobody pays attention to it anymore, and these words have no more meaning. Your cancel culture has failed. You have lost all your power, and you can continue to scream and freak out all you want because we will laugh, ridicule you, and make shame great again. Because opinions like these and psychopaths like this should be ostracized from polite society and be shoved back into the little corners of their Tumblr fan fiction dens. Because that's all they are. They were never fans to begin with. They were the true tourists, and now you've learned by listening to these psychopaths, you lose money. So go ahead, scream you little nut jobs, because it doesn't matter anymore. All of you little goblin kings have no more power over me, or any of us for that matter, really.